morning. It's Monday, 21st of December 2015. This is Sylvia Shivamurthy and you're listening to the newspaper reviews on www.athavaneng.com. Let's now look at the paper highlights in Daily Mirror. The top headline says, Government favors setting up of private campuses. Kirialla says, full autonomy to state-run universities. The government has decided to encourage the establishment of private universities in the country while giving the fullest possible autonomy to state-run universities, Higher Education Minister Rakshman Kirialla said yesterday. Another highlight says, Namal clicks rare shot of MR. This photograph captured by MP Namal Rajapaksa and posted on his Facebook account shows former President Mahinda Rajapaksa in a rare yoga position the day after he celebrated his 70th birthday with yoga instructor Nandana Sirivardhana seated beside. The highlight at the middle says, Strike at BIA. Several cleaning employees at the Bandaranaike International Airport launched a strike last morning demanding that the management increase their pay. Another highlight says, Joint opposition against converting parliament to CA. The joint opposition said yesterday it would rise against the government plan to move a motion seeking to convert parliament to a constituent assembly for the sole purpose of discussing constitutional proposals on the basis that it was against the procedure laid down in the present constitution for it. Another highlight which says, No foreign companies to mine gems in Sri Lanka, says President. President Maithripala Sirisena said he will not allow foreign companies to enter into the gem mining industry in the country. During the time I was the common candidate for the presidential election, the people requested me not to let the foreign companies mine gems in Sri Lanka. And another highlight says, Sri Lanka requests India to extend currency swap facility. Sri Lanka has requested for an extension of the time of the $400 million currency swap facility provided in March this year. The highlight at the bottom says, PM at Passing Out Parade. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was the chief guest at the Passing Out Parade of 161 more officer cadets held at the Sri Lanka Military Academy in Diyathalawa yesterday morning. Army Commander Krishantha De Silva accompanied Premier Wickremesinghe. Let's now move to the paper highlights in Daily News. The main headline says, Bid to remove SSC appearing in Ekneligoda case. A key official attached to the National Intelligence Service has attempted to influence the Attorney General's department to remove Dilip Piris, a senior state counsel, from the habeas corpus case in connection with the journalist Pragnith Ekneligoda's disappearance, the Daily News learns. Chief of National Intelligence Senior DIG Cicera Mendes is currently overseas and in his absence, the official under question is playing a critical important role in the intelligence service. The intelligent bigwig is a senior officer attached to the Sri Lankan army. Another highlight says, No slashing of any projects to accommodate budget amendments, says Finance Secretary. The government will not slash any of its projects to finance the additional expenditure of 35 billion rupees to accommodate the amendments to Budget 2016, Finance Minister Secretary Dr. R.H.S. Samarthunga said. The highlight at the middle says, Rishad lodges police complaint against National Sangha Council. Industry and Commerce Minister Rishad Badiuddin lodged a complaint at Cinnamon Garden Police on Saturday against the National Sangha Council for making false accusations against him. And the highlight at the bottom says, Military must have strong ties with all countries, says PM. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that Sri Lankan military needs to have strong ties with the Asian countries like China, India and Pakistan and Western countries like US, Britain and others. The Prime Minister said that the closer ties with the above countries will help the military to further enhance its capacity and knowledge on par with the latest international best practices. And now let's move to the news highlights in Ceylon today. The top highlight says, Biswal suddenly visits Sri Lanka. Speculation is rife in Sri Lankan political circles regarding the purpose of the arrival of United States Department of State Assistant Secretary for State for South and Central Asian Affairs, Nisha Desai Biswal yesterday. Biswal arrived in the island for a holiday with her family yesterday, and this is her third visit to the country this year. The highlight of the middle says, Avant-garde inquiry. Top politico tries to woo PRECIFAC. A top politician who is suspected to be connected to the corruption allegation of the Avant-garde organization has called a senior official to the PRECIFAC, internal sources of the PRECIFAC told Ceylon Today. Another highlight says, GMOA may strike this week. Government Medical Officers Association is likely to launch trade union action within this week if its demands are not met. GMOA Secretary Dr. Nalinda Hera said the GMOA Executive Committee is to meet today and decide when they will engage in trade union action, as the General Committee had granted approval to launch trade union action. And the highlight at the bottom says, 25 injured in bus collision. Around 25 persons were injured after a private bus collided with a bus attached to the Sri Lanka Transport Board in the Padya Talava Police Division yesterday. Police media unit speaking to the Ceylon Today stated that the accident had occurred on the Ampara-Kandy main road at around 2:30 p.m. yesterday when the two buses plying from the opposite directions collided. We brought you the paper highlights in today's newspapers and we'll be bringing back more tomorrow. Thank you.